radio in 5, 4, 3.
Hold on, Mr. Wine Tribe. I got to mute myself. There we go. Now I can do it. My bad. And we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA online at the Big1050.com. Listen, I've been out of the air chair for a week, so you gotta get back used to it, DG. Got to get back used to it. But we are brought to you by the great Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Can you see that on my hat? Mm-hmm. Can you see that on my shirt? My great folks out at GTR. It's been a minute.
Wait, point to it again.
Yeah, see, it's there.
No, on your shirt. Point to it on your shirt.
Right
yeah, right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Right there. Right there. I told you.
The other right there.
I haven't been here in a minute. Grand Traverse.
And for those listening to the radio, Sam was pointing to the wrong side.
Thank you to Caroline and Eric up there at GTR. The awesome,
some guys say you mighty fine.
Yeah, that is right. That is right. The great Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. See, Devin fancies the spa, as do I, because a massage would actually
nothing like it. Oils and all the finest juices and berries. I'm just telling you.
There's just nothing like it. The pedicure. Have you had a pedicure yet?
I haven't gotten a pedicure yet, but I need to.
You haven't treated yourself?
First of all, I put you on the pedicures. You weren't really into the pedicures for that much.
Wait, but you haven't. I thought you haven't had one.
I ain't have one there yet. I ain't have one there yet. It wasn't a lot of time.
A pedicure.
Oh, what? I'm pedicure man. That's me.
Okay.
I'm proud.
You just haven't had one at GTR.
Pedicure and proud. I just haven't had one at GTR yet.
Okay. All right. Well, you have to have a pedicure before you get out on the golf course. Like my man, Mr. Weintraub, makes it out on the golf course a lot.
Quite frequently.
They have 3 outstanding golf courses up at GTR. Do they not, Mr. Weintraub?
They have beautiful golf courses there.
That is right. I am partial to the Wolverine because it is
obviously
the best named golf course in the world.
Of course. Championship level golf courses up there at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. And the great thing about it is Ira was like, listen, I mean, these days you could probably golf up until December. I don't know that they'll actually golf up until December.
Sam, the last couple of years we've gone up there, in November I've golfed.
There you go. There you go. So you can still book golf outings up at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Just go to grandtraverseresort.com. Book your outings. They have out at the resort where you're staying in the hotel. They have all the shops at the hotel. They have the sports bar. They have Airy restaurant at the top of the tower, which is outstanding. Great steak. You have everything you want.
Whatever you need.
Right there at GTR. And by the way,
you can buy clothes there. You don't even got to bring up a suitcase.
That is right.
Just bring whatever you're wearing and then buy your outfit there and just do your deal.
That is right. Yeah. That is right. You even have the casino right up the way.
Yeah.
That they'll take the shuttle to. So everything you want right here in Northern Michigan, you can have up at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa.
And as I always say, the code 2Strap Sam _, and he'll and if you do use that code the code, hold on, Tom, let me get my good.
You like and the code, my soul, man.
And the code is for Sam to pay half of your ticket, whatever you buy, and that's at the store, at the spa, whatever. And if you do use code 2Strap Sam, I'm gonna ask you to book one for me too, because I don't see why not, right? If Sam is paying, I don't see why we all don't go ahead and get to the spa and get that pedicure that I so desire, 2Strap Sam, that is the number 2 strap Sam, and
I really needed to laugh, and you like food for my soul right now, my brother. Yeah. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So thank you for that.
Oh, so you said it's not real?
That is not a real code.
It seemed like a real code. That
is not a real code.
I mean, if DG said it got to be a real code, right?
It's not a real code.
Not a real code.
All right. So let's talk about this game, DG, as the Wolverines. Another victory, another W. They came out on top 27-24 as they beat Minnesota. Start number 2 for Alex Orji. This is the Monday morning quarterback. We talk mostly about the quarterbacks. And so start number 2, what do you think about how it went?
I was happy to see improvement, right? Because that's all you're expecting right now is improvement from week to week. Because like we talked about, he missed some opportunities against, I would say, bad teams, especially at Fresno State. that just got blasted by UNLV, who lost their starting quarterback and their starting running back, by the way. Blasted by UNLV. But I digress. We'll talk about that another time. Fresno State blasted by UNLV, who, I repeat, lost their starting quarterback because of NIL and their starting running back. But, we'll leave that for another time. But real improvement from week to week. Obviously, in the first week against USC, huge task to tell him to run out there and beat USC, but he handled it well, right? Threw the ball well, as we outlined, missed some opportunities in reading coverage. And then in this game, you saw some missed opportunities in reading coverage as well. Not so much recognizing one high and two high, but recognizing, can he get to his next read? Does he have time? Right? And it's a hard thing to do right now just because sometimes he does have time and sometimes he doesn't, right? So do you risk it? Do you hold on to the ball? And right now he's one read and go. The one thing that I think is so important and so good for him is the addition of the iPads, and for two specific reasons. One, on the interception he threw, that was an amazing play by the safety. Right? He read it perfectly. He read 1 to 2 to 3, right? So his first read came off of it. He goes to the over to, I think it was Freddie Moore. The safety starts to jump it, right? He has a little pressure. He navigates around the pressure and then throws it to Colson Loveland, who he assumes and who it looked like to me was wide open. And then the safety baseball turns off of Freddie Moore and then goes back and meets Colson Loveland as soon as the ball gets there. So that's an amazing play. But without the video and the iPad, you just think you didn't see him. Right? It's like, no. Trust your eyes. Do not start not trusting your eyes. You saw what you wanted to have. You had to throw. The guy just made a better play. And that's what you'll learn. As you continue to play, guys make really good plays on the other side. They're on scholarship too. And then being able to see how fast he's playing when he doesn't have to. Right? And let me explain that, right? So he drops back, and sometimes there's pressure, sometimes there's not. And it's a feel thing. When he doesn't have pressure, his body looks like it's getting pressure, if that makes sense, right? He's starting to move so fast. And so you see one read, and then he's like, my clock's ticking, I got to go, right? And he's made some really good plays doing that, but he's left some plays out there doing that, right? And if he just gets to that second read, right, he's got some big plays out there and some medium-sized plays, some plays that are just move the chains type of plays. And I think if he can continue to take that step, because you can see that the iPad's helping, because it happens in the first half, right, where he goes first read and go, doesn't get to the next read or whatever. And then in the second half, one time he got to fourth, right? He got to his fourth read, which was Ronnie Bell's little brother, on a dig from the opposite side of the field, right? So he starts front side, goes 1 to Donovan, I think it was, and then 2 to another guy, 3 to another guy, and then the fourth read is the dig backside. So that tells me, he can do it. He just has to continue to get comfortable. And when I tell you he looked like that's a play that they repped over and over against that coverage, right? Because he said 1, 2, 3, 4 and drove it on the chest of Ronnie Bell. And then not Ronnie Bell, but Kendrick Bell. And he had a few drops, right? So I think that it was a good performance, B-.
So fourth read. Yes.
It was his fourth read. It was super impressive to see. I'm like, oh, wait. Because you're looking through the film and you're like, hey, gotta get to the second read. Gotta get the second read. All right, then you go to the second half, and it's like, there he is getting to that second read. There he goes, getting to that fourth read, which is super impressive. And I want to give kudos to the play calling too. What I suggested, right? Some early down passes, right? Play action, not so predictable on first and second down. And I think that's even going to take another step in this next game, right? I thought that was very good by Sharon and by Campbell of putting him in position to succeed, moving the launch point, right? He's going to have to slow down. And I think that continuing to get these reps is going to help him slow down, because fans can't see it because they're not watching the film the way I'm watching the film. The improvement from week 1 to week 2 of his week 1 to week 2, super impressive for a guy that's never played 5 snaps in a row, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, look, tried to make that point in the post game. This is what a guy in his second start with limited downfield.
Not second reps. Start against bums. Second start against two big one a really good Big Ten team, and then a well coached PJ Fleck Big Ten team.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. Yeah. Second start with limited downfield throws. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
So You know,
when he starts hitting some of them downfield throws that are there, I'm telling you, man.
So he said about that, about the throw to Colston.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I got to throw a better ball. You know, he threw it to the inside. He said, you know, if I throw it away from the defender and throw
he thought he was wide open. He thought he was wide open, which do you have a picture you can put up?
Yeah, I do.
So this is just a steal because, you know, we can't do the full video like we used to as much on this show. You know what I mean? But this is what Stanislaus put up is a steal shot, and the ball is out, right? So it's a steal shot of the back end, and the ball is out, and you'll see how impressive a play this is by the safety. I don't know who the safety was. I haven't had Minnesota yet, but whoever he is, if I have Minnesota later on the show, I'm like, okay, let me just check this guy out a little bit more, because that was very. I mean, it's kind of a teach tape on what you want to do as a safety, right? If you can, right, this is the Ed Reed stuff. If you can, yes, run and take stuff away, and then if you got the ability to get back, now most guys don't have that ability, but if you got the ability to get back, you do that. And he's right in one form or fashion of, like, if he throws it a little more outside, maybe it's a completion, but this kid makes a really good play, and he gets when you see this steal of where he is, and sorry for people on radio, you know, you can go back and watch the stream. When you see the steal of where he is while the ball's gone, and then you kind of play in your mind what happened on the field in the video, you're gonna be like, oh, how did he do that? Right? How, like, there's no way the humans should be facing this way, running one way, and then on a dime baseball term and get to the ball and intercept it. Matter of fact, that was really good.
Yeah, I got to figure out a good way to be able to show this on the screen for you. I get it. I'll get it. In the meantime, in between time, while I bring up this picture, from a play call perspective, you know, I wanted to see him, a couple of things I wanted to see. I wanted to see them let him get some throws over the middle, because they gave him a heavy dose of throws to the flat, outside, throws to the sideline. They gave him a few more throws over the middle.
Love it.
Don't shy away from it because he threw an interception.
Well, no, there's no way the coaching staff can look at that play and say, that's a bad play by you.
Right.
No way. And I'm not talking about once they get to the film on Monday. I'm talking about on the field. They're like, I mean, what can you do?
So now what he said after that play was, I got to get to Donovan on that play, because Donovan was open on the wheel. Now, I'm not sure where Donovan was in the progression on that play. Now, did you get
I love that he's taking responsibility, but if we remember, there's a guy chasing him and he avoids him to throw.
Right.
There's no way he's going to get to it. Right? And I love what you're supposed to take, but we can watch and see.
But see, here's what I don't know. Where is Donovan in the progression on that play?
Well, wide open, close, and Loveland is first. I don't care what you're talking about, Donovan, Rail, whatever. Wide open. That's who
I saw first on the
safety leaving the middle with a wide open streaking, appearing to streak Colson Loveland. That's before anybody ever. And you know, you say the right things in the meeting and all that, but I'm just telling you right now, you cannot turn down Colson Loveland wide open with the safety leaving the middle. Period. Can't do it. Now, as we talked about, safety made a great play. But you know, I don't give you, and I wonder what Borges would say, because I don't give you a minus on that.
I asked Borges
what you say.
What I asked him the same thing, because I said, "Man, it looked like Colston was like." He said, "Well, Colston was open. Yeah, that's who I saw.
Yeah,
I'm going to Colston now." He said, "Now I can't say because I don't know
what the progression is." Got it.
So he said, "I can't call it for sure."
Judging from what we've seen, Colson is
high
on the priority list when he's open. You know what I mean? I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
just guessing.
So, like he said in the press conference, though, I got to get to Donovan on the play.
Just takes responsibility, but he is what we thought he was as far as the press conference and all that. He says exactly what he needs to say. He takes responsibility. He's a leader. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And unlike, you know, in the past, you know, I remember when I used to take all the blame when it wasn't all my fault. Everybody thought it was really all my fault. You know what I mean? I'm going to sit here. I'm watching the film, and I'm going to tell you right now that, you know, that's a great play by the defense.
All right. Here we go. Here's the photo. I'm sharing it. This is what you want the people to see. Can you see that?
Can I see it?
Is it showing on the screen?
Yes. Right. So put the mouse on there so they can see that.
Can you see the mouse? I don't know if you can see the mouse.
I can see the mouse.
Okay.
So
what do you want me
to put
him
on the safety that's supposed to be the middle safety, and he started chasing the over route, right? And so Colston is wide open, but the ball's already released, and you can see he's starting to turn back, right? He's starting to do that baseball turn and run back to Colston. So, I mean, from that picture, and that's just a picture of the safety running out of the middle, I'm throwing at the Cubs, Colston Loveland every time, and he made a great play. So it's an interception, but all interceptions aren't weighted equally, right? You know, sometimes you make a really good play, and that's what you saw from the safety. But the fact of the matter is, I watched a kid who hasn't in his life, his college life at least, gone to a second read, gone to a third read, gone to a fourth read, take steps toward that in this game, and it was good to see.
Yeah. So again, to your point, they can't. And I don't think they will shy away from letting him throw.
No, because he's improved too much. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's no way they look at him and whatever they thought of him and whatever and see that, okay, this is a kid who is getting better. Now, how much better? That you know, that remains to be seen. We got to know what the plays are and what reads he's supposed to have and whatever. But he's under siege a lot of times, right? He's under pressure. And because of the pressure he's under, he starts to speed up just a little bit. But he's kind of avoiding mistakes while all this is happening, man. I'm just telling you, watching him play, it's like everything's going 150 miles an hour. It is moving so fast. People are flying around. And for him to make improvement with it, because that's why you have like the early games against Fresno and Arkansas State. Those get as much as everybody thinks, oh, it's just those. It's much slower. It is much slower. The rotation of coverage, different things like that is much slower. Now, moving to Washington, they don't disguise a lot. This is going to be good. He's going to get an opportunity to really see what they're doing and kind of base it off of now. They do a good job of mixing up and trying to get pressure, and they are relentless in their pursuit and trying to put pressure on the quarterback. However, he's going to have an opportunity to see cover two, and it's going to stay. Now, will they change it some? I don't know, right? Because it's on film for the last 5 weeks of just when it's cover two, line up in cover two. When it's man, we're lined up in man. When it's cover three, you kind of can see that it's going to be cover three as one high. So will they alter that because of a young quarterback? Maybe, right? Because it's like, hey, we'll take a chance that he won't find the open guy, even if we make a mistake by disguising or something like that. But the improvement is there. And I'm excited to see it continue as the weeks go on.
Yeah, there's an evolution, I think, in how to use them.
Yeah,
I think,
and they're still figuring that out, and they're doing a good job. I think.
I think it is. I think you nailed it. I think he's learning, and I honestly think they're learning too. I think he's learning from a zone read perspective.
1st and 19 was the one he went to his fourth read. They got the 1st and 19 for whatever reason because I watched the coach's copy. It was 1st and 10, and then they probably got a holding or something like that, and it was a spot foul, so it went to 1st and 19 instead of 1st and 20. And he went to his third read, stayed in the pocket, and set up 2nd and 3. Right, so that's a 19-yard catch and tackle. It was very impressive, but sorry, it just popped in my head.
Yeah, and so he, I thought showing him and his growth, and then how they use him. So first with his growth, progression reading, saw some steps there. Zone reading, saw some steps there because I thought in week one or his week one, he had some gives there where
like that's a thing that you have to get more reps doing for sure.
Right.
Everybody thinks read outs is just so easy.
It's not.
They're moving very fast and they're closer. Yeah. And it's just like everything is flashing so quickly, you know.
Right. So in week one, I think there was a bluff that he pulled on or that he gave on. I was like, what did he see? And then there was a duo read that he gave on. It's like, what did he see? This week, eyeballing it, it was like everything looked right, but then he pulled into a gap exchange.
And I don't remember.
No, he pulled into a gap exchange, but that's something that you as a quarterback, Devin, the first time you see it, it's like I don't know how.
Well, yeah, we used to. It's so funny with Rod Smith. We used to practice that with Coach Rich Rodriguez, because when I was in high school, you don't see automatic defensive end crash and then they replace them. Like that is terrifying because it's like I just pulled this ball and it's somebody for me. You know what I mean? And so that's a really good job by defensive staff because it's hard to read, man. And the thing is, it's almost a dead play because you have to give it. If you read it correctly, you have to give it, and they have somebody for you, and they have somebody for the person that you're giving it to. So it's really difficult to read. What I suggest, listen here, and I remember when Coach Rod put this in, and it was like mind blowing because then it takes some of that stuff away. Like, all right, you can keep trying to do all that garbage you want, but if we catch you, it's gonna be some issues. Reading the 3 technique or reading the defensive tackle, right? Where you block the defensive end, block the nose, and then leave that 3 technique in the middle. And it can be a little scary sometimes because it's like he's close to the mesh point or whatever, but he's just not used to being blocked, right? He's going to freeze. He's going to start looking around. Is it a screen? What is it? And then either you hand it, and usually it's like a blind dog in a meat house. He's like, I'm free. You're giving the ball. He tackles the running back, and then you replace him, and it's usually a big play. Do it one time. I mean, you can do it a couple times if you want because it works, but you do it that one time, it's like, oh man, we can't put our 3 techniques in that kind of situation, right? So I suggest highly to add that into the game plan, read that 3 technique, and it's not going to be so much a whole bunch of different for the quarterback. It's just you just take your eyes from the end to the 3, and I'm telling you, but big plays.
My point is you got to see it though.
Yep. Yeah.
You got to see. I mean,
that exchange, even if you have seen it, you still see a crashing defensive end. And when the defensive end crashes, you're supposed to pull it.
Right.
And then and the exchange doesn't happen right away. When you say exchange, it makes it appear like, oh, he goes down and he comes around. No. If you do it right, he waits. And then he just flashes right where the defensive end left from. So, yeah, that's tough. I mean,
it's tough.
It's
tough. And so, but now he has that experience.
Yeah.
Now he's seen it.
Now he's just going to give it for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah. So now that he's had that experience, now he has that in his mind. He knows that's something that can happen.
And to be honest, like Denard would be like Coach Rye, he could pull it. Like, okay, that's exchange. He's not going to get you. Like I think because the thing is the running back's at a disadvantage. That defensive man is going to tackle him. Period. He's not being blocked. He's chasing. He doesn't have to worry about the quarterback. He's not going to hesitate. He's going right to the running back. You're going to get him. But you face up on a linebacker. I think you can get 3. I can get Denard. He probably hit a home run because his linebacker doesn't have a chance, or whoever it is. But for Orji, I think it should be a conversation like, hey, next time you see this, be prepared for it, and just know you got to beat him to the edge. Go get 3 yards, go get 2 yards, go get 5, go get 10, whatever you want to do. Face him up, give him a 1-2, and get underneath whatever it's going to be. But that's a conversation for them to have. What do they want to do with that situation? But like you said, I think it's good that he saw it because it's a tough thing to do.
That's why you need the reps. See, that's part of the, of course, yeah. That's part of the progress from one week to the next. Mm-hmm. So that was good to see. But from a play call perspective, to me, where I
thought he did a good job.
Where I think you need to see more is we didn't see. I don't remember seeing any +1 runs in this game. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so yeah, he had the improv runs, you saw the zone reading, but man,
for me, do you think it's a little protection because he doesn't know how to protect himself yet? Because you give those +1 runs and he keeps taking hits.
It could be, but I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
I think you got maybe,
yeah,
but I think you got to have those. For him.
And also, I thought that they would finish this game and not have to use any of their stuff as much, right?
Well,
just because.
But then you get
in a dogfight. You get in a
dogfight.
Yeah.
And I think you got to have a few of those in every game.
Yeah.
With Alex Orji.
Yeah, I think so. And I want to talk about Khalil Mullings just for a little bit. He's improved again. He continues to improve. Jumping gaps, right? Jump cuts. Finding, pressing the hole, getting to the backside. I mean, he is really, really. I mean, I know I've talked about it for a long time, and even going back to last year, how I was impressed with his improvement from 2 years ago to last year, and then told the story of how I told him how bad he was to his face, and then he told me and then I told him also that he's most improved I've seen, and it's super impressive to see, and I was proud of him. But he's even taken a next step that is pretty cool to see. And last week, Rutgers against Washington, Kyle Monungai, their quarterback completed a couple passes, couple third downs, couple. They didn't even do as much throwing on first down as I thought they should, Rutgers. And Kyle Monungai got loose. He started to get loose because all you got to do is loosen him up a little bit, and now you can get to your run game. And their quarterback isn't a dynamic runner like Orji is. He's an okay runner. He can run. Caleb Manis, he can run. but I think we had a real chance to impose our will. Michigan does against a Washington team that has to deal with this running quarterback and this running quarterback that appears to continue to have his confidence and is gaining even more confidence in the pass game.
Well, that's why you got, to me, again, which lends even more to my point, you got to run them by design.
Yeah.
Got to run them by design, too.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a whole bunch.
I mean, I'm saying like 5 times a game.
Yeah, I think that's a good number. 5, because he's gonna run, right? He's gonna run in the read option. He's gonna run in the pass game when it's not there. I think 5 design. This is whether it's a fake or whatever. You're still keeping the ball for sure. It's an automatic keep. I think the 5 of those a game in spots I think is very smart, and it'll scare defenses because, like you said, +1 is terrifying for a defensive coordinator. That's why the defense of coordinators or the defensive coordinator and defensive staff wanted Orji, because they know that +1, you can't do nothing about it. There's nothing you can do. You can't just bring safeties out of the middle all the time, to bring them down. So I think that, I mean, another thing that Washington does, they play some zero. So and that can hurt us because now they take away that +1. But now in the pass game, you got Close and Loveland running through the middle. You got different guys. And so I know they're going to see it because it's relatively clear when they're in zero, too. So when I know that they're going to watch film and say, hey, we got to trust you, Orji, to say, hey, get to the alert. And we're going to do what we're going to do versus zero and got to hit it. And if you don't hit, because if you don't hit it, they're just going to keep doing it to you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
All right. So when we come back, I'm going to have you coach Alex, like your young go-getter. Like he's in your... He's coming to your session. Wait, why are you giving me a side?
No, I'm just saying. It's gonna be a little different in there. Right? I'm crazy. I'm really crazy. I'm crazy. So
you about to coach?
I can't act crazy on TV. Radio.
You about to give us the PG Golden Limo?
Yeah, of course.
Session of coaching.
God damn. Orji, what are we looking at here? What are we looking at?
On the other side.
What are your eyes supposed to be doing? Where are your feet? Look at your feet.
You're going to give us that on the other side, so stay tuned. And
that's good, but I mean, it could be better. Move your feet.
And then, of course, we still have the Q&A with DG on the other side. And I still did you ask DG about his suit, the infamous suit?
What infamous suit?
I told you he was going to ask you, Devin.
What infamous suit?
From a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that boy was cold.
The Illinois-Nebraska suit.
Because I heard you went to downtown Flint to get that suit. That's what I heard.
No way,
I heard you went to
never going to
Flint.
I ain't never going to Flint. Flint is garbage. Flint don't got nothing.
Somebody lied to you. I heard that's
and the Conies are trash.
That's definitely not true. We got to get to a break. Back on the other side with more Monday Morning Quarterback here on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at thebig1050.com. So, the great Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. We got to show you what the great Grand Traverse Resort and Spa is all about, people, because I don't think that you really know. Can you see that, DG? Can you see what the great Grand Traverse Resort and Spa is all about?
Yes.
Is that showing up on your screen?
We've seen this video before.
Can you see the beautiful?
That's a great drone shot. It's awesome.
The beautiful golf course.
Little pond right there. And that's like right before falls really get started.
Which course is that?
So the leaves are kind of
Which course is this that we're looking at right now?
I think it's a mix, but I believe that was the Bear, because I think the Bear is the one that comes right behind, but Sam, it's green overhead golf course shots. It's beautiful. But that fountain is right near where we set up when we've been up there in the past doing live broadcasts out in front of the golf course. Great spot. Unless it's raining.
It is one of the most beautiful settings in all of Michigan. So if you're looking for a getaway right here in the state of Michigan, get up to Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. No truer north, as you hear us say all the time. And it's something for everyone in the family. So, the spa isn't just for the missus, it's for the mister too, as you hear DG say, but something for the kids. They have the, sort of the arcade section down there. Yeah, of course, you have the sports bar that's there as well. All the different drinking areas at the great establishment. And then, of course, you have the Airy restaurant at the top. And then, of course, as you get out on the golf course, outstanding. And then down the street, Turtle Creek Casino. They have the shuttle that goes down Turtle Creek. They have so many great amenities for you to take part in, take advantage of while you up at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Be sure to book your outing. Go to grandtraverseresort.com. Again, that is grandtraverseresort.com.
Does the code go to the casino too?
There is no code, DG. There is no.
I keep thinking it's a code. You sure it ain't the number 2 strap, code. Sam? You sure?
There is no code at all.
Is strap spelled normal or regular? Is it STRAP or is it strap A? Is it a little hyphen over the E at the end?
Hey man,
I'm just. It seems like it might be a code. You know, because you're that guy.
You're
that guy. You got chauffeurs. You got people carrying your bags. You got a lot going on.
So I was watching your man clap, and he was talking about on Khalil Mullings' first touchdown, and he was like, "Do you see this?" So he was talking about there was a stunt. There's a stunt, and the 3 techs landed inside, and the mic didn't get over the top, and he was acting like he knew that this was he was acting like he knew what the call was. Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe the mic blew it. Either way, the mic was looking at Alex Orji on the play.
Like even if he's supposed to fly over the top, he can't leave right away. Like we've talked about this. Like he doesn't have to move, but if he freezes, it's over.
Yeah, and he froze.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever what was the case. He froze because he was looking at Alex.
Yeah.
Alex Orji froze him on up just like he.
And he didn't even have to do anything.
Yeah, just like the week before. And this was kind of the point that I was making in a rebuttal argument that I was having, talking about his impact on the running. And the week before, on Khalil Mullings' first touchdown, he moved the mic, the wheel, and the free safety on the play. So 2 weeks in a row, he gave Khalil Mullings a wide open touchdown.
Yeah. I don't think people got to remember it, and Borges talks about it all the time, how Fitzgerald Toussaint exploded with Denard. You got to deal with him. So Fitzgerald Toussaint, I think he rushed for 1,200 yards or something like that. And a great player, but does he have that without Denard? We don't know.
Back on Radio on 5, 4, 3.
And we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at the Big1050.com, here with our man DG, our man Devin Gardner. And it is time for the Driving Force Report, brought to you by our friends over at Golden Limo. Be sure to book your ground transportation with our friends over at Golden Limo, whether you need ground transportation to the airport, executive transportation anywhere in southeastern Michigan. For me, it's most often to the airport, but of course, I needed ground transportation from home to the game. For the USC
don't you
game.
Just use it for the grocery store too?
No, I don't just use it to the grocery.
It seems like you use it for. I mean, you come so far from Flint. Is all
I
I'm
don't
saying.
just use it to the grocery store. I needed to get so some people use it for game day transport, right? It works for that. Michigan uses it. The Michigan football team.
Devin, I told you last week he diva to the game a couple weeks ago.
I told you.
I did not diva.
And I heard you ain't even carry your own bags.
It did not diva.
Because that's Golden Limo. That's what Golden Limo does.
My
you don't even carry your own bags.
Out of town. I needed to get to the game.
Hey, man.
Some people need.
All I heard was you didn't carry your own bags. You was no straps. Is all I'm saying.
That's true too.
You didn't carry your own bags.
So if you want to take it easy on game day and you want to have the hassle taking out a game day transport, our friends at Golden Limo can take care of you. So again, whether it's luxury transportation with their SUVs, whether you need, group transportation in one of their sprinters, or even bigger groups, larger groups, like a team, like the Michigan football team travels in one of their luxury coaches. Golden Limo has you covered. Go to goldenlimo.com. If you book using the Golden Ticket, then a portion of your transportation fee will go to Michigan NIL, and they also will donate a portion of your transportation fee to a great veterans charity called Freedom River. That is what our friends at Golden Limo are committed to. So go to goldenlimo.com and be sure to book your ground transportation.
This is not true, by the way.
What is that?
Sam, how many touchdown passes is he missing, though? Every play action call, he runs the ball. Guys are running open. He won't throw it. The commentary is very interesting. That is not true. Guys are not running wide open. That's a false statement there by Hassan Hall.
That's Zeke.
That's a false statement. It's false. 100% false.
Why did you put that on the screen if it's false?
Well, I just want him to know he's wrong. You know, I love when people are wrong.
See, you just
I don't know much about that, but
you're affecting the opportunity to get Chili in the tent.
Oh no!
That's what
first of all, Chili ain't coming. You've been promising Chili for 12 to 14,000 weeks.
He's been
at this point. Chili. At this point, he don't even know Chili. Chili done excommunicated him like Aaron Rodgers did his brother. We're done. and just because he first of all, he ain't getting Chili. But even if he was, he's still wrong. Crazy.
All right. So that's that.
For people in the chat, you know, it's a person who's supposedly Chili's brother. I mean, no, people on the radio, supposedly Chili's brother, and she's supposed to come on the show. We don't know that to be true for a fact. I remember they used to be saying Omarion and Marcus Houston was brothers, and that ain't true. People be lying in Hollywood, man.
That's not true. I mean, this part is true.
We don't know that. Until Chili get on the show, I don't know that. So you're lying. That is not your sister.
So we got to get her to come on to confirm.
And then we can confirm.
Okay, that's actually smart.
It looks like a lie to me at this point.
Pretty smart.
After all these weeks, it looked like a lie.
That's actually pretty smart.
I'm just saying.
All right, driving force report. So we need you to coach. Okay, so let's bring Zeke's point into focus here. So what is he maybe talking about?
He's just assuming because it's play action, he'll be open.
So I don't think this was play action, but let's bring up maybe the first third down. Was it 4 verts? I think it was 4 verts was the play, and Alex scrambles for a first down. Now it looks like he might have had Colston running up the sideline. I think it was 4 verts.
No, yeah, he did, but he was already running.
He was already running.
Yeah. So it was verticals, and when he starts running, then the corner stops. Yeah, he's wide open now, and so of course
people see that
as you continue to improve, right? Then you start to keep your eyes downfield. Make those secondary plays. This is his second start. He sees a first down with his legs. Go get the first down. And we'll get to that. We'll see you had him here. But that's not within the framework. That was a secondary play that he missed. But did he miss because he got the first down? That's what I'm saying. But you see that and it's like, he missed that read. No, he was already running, and because he ran, now that's something he can improve on again, where it's like, okay, remember secondary plays, you start to run, hey, they start to come up. Now you got guys open down the field, right? It's all the maturation and improvement. But you don't tell him, don't run that. Talking about, hey, make sure you don't wait to see if Colston Loveland comes open versus safety over the side. No. Now we're holding the ball and we're taking sacks on pass plays. And now we kind of scare ourselves away from, I know that was third down, but scare ourselves away from first down passes, because now it's not going to be 2nd and 10 with the incompletion. It's going to be 2nd and 15 because of a sack, if that makes sense, right? So a lot of the getting out of there is to keep them in favorable down and distances, even if it's 2nd and 10, right? You can't take sacks when it's, because like you said, like we're not built to come back. We're not built to deal with 2nd and 15, 2nd and 14. Now, the 1st and 19 was really cool, right? 1st and 19, he drops back and hits a, what is that? 19 minus 3, 6. So a 16-yard play, right? So he drops back, gets to his 4th read, hits a 16-yard play. Can we depend on that every single time? I don't think so. Not yet. Now, can we in the future? Maybe. Absolutely. Maybe. But right now, we can't depend on, if we get to a 1st and 19, 2nd and 17, or whatever the case may be, that we're going to pick up first downs. And if without first downs, there are no touchdowns. So,
all right. So I said in the driving force report, I was going to have you
coach
him because people,
like, is it game day or is it like, what is it? Is it on game day or is it? Because it's a different guy.
I want you to coach him on what you want him to improve on. Because people say, oh, you're making excuse after excuse. Yeah, I don't hear you making excuses.
I made an excuse? I'm just asking.
I don't think you're making excuses.
I'm just making sure.
I just want you to offer the critiques. How you would coach him on the things that you want to improve. Because I think this is what for the people who think there's no hope, they're not listening to the critiques. So I'm highlighting the critiques by having you coach him.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying I want you to coach him right now.
Right. So firstly, gotta breathe. Right. I love to see a quarterback that comes out and before it all starts, he takes a deep breath, right? Feels his feet in the ground. Firstly, you have to breathe more because the more you breathe and the deeper breaths you take, your heart will slow down. Right. And when your heart slows down, what else happens? You start to think slower, not as fast, right? Because like I talked about, he's playing entirely too fast, right? And a lot of it is because pressure, you don't want to take sacks, and I get that. However, there has to be a point of maturation of like, okay, I have a little bit more time than I think I do, or I have a little bit more space. And I think we saw some of that on some plays in the second half because it's in there, right? It's in there, being able to move, not look at the rush, and keep our eyes downfield. But seeing himself do it is what you have to do. And he saw himself do it a few times. So I expect him to take another leap. Get to your second read. Right. First, identify coverage. Have a plan of where the ball is probably going to go before the snap starts. Right. All the really good quarterbacks that I've watched and that you see. I remember breaking down Tua talking about Lois film in college. And it's just like, and it was a lot in the NFL too. I mean, he has a concussion thing, but aside from that, he's one of the best quarterbacks as far as passing in the NFL. In college, he always had a plan. Right. But when the ball snapped, he knew exactly where he was going with the ball. Now, some of that is coaching and some of that is him understanding to have a plan based off of what the defense is doing. So I want to see him less of what and more of why. Right. So he knows what the receivers are doing. Right. I need him to get to why. Right. Why is this happening? Why is he the clear route? Is he like I remember it was the first passing play. I think it was a shallow cross and it was incomplete. He got hit. Right. I need, and this is for the receivers as well. It's zone, and Freddie Moore's got shallow cross, but he continues to blow through it. Right. And he entices the quarterback to throw it because he gives him his eyes. Right. And for people at home that don't know, you run shallow cross and you do not look at the quarterback until you want the ball. Do not look at the quarterback until you want the ball. And it's not until you get to the opposite tackle. Right. So if you come from the right, when you get to that left tackle, that's when you can look. And you need to be settling down or going through the chasing with man-to-man chasing. You should continue running. He doesn't slow down. He doesn't stop. And then Orji just throws it to him. And so it's a catch tackle and an incomplete pass. Is that the wrong read? No. However, it's not good enough, right? You have to make sure that both you guys are on the same page, right? And so more walkthroughs and after practice and more extra work. Just so you understand it and get a feel for, because like I said, you don't have those early games against bad teams. You don't have that to get your feet wet. You're birthed into the fire, USC, right? And then in comes Minnesota, who's always tough, right? And well coached by PJ Fleck. He's done a good job there. I mean, maybe they thought they would win Big Ten championships, but it's Minnesota, right? It's tough. It's a tough place to coach and get players to come play. And so you gotta get as much extra work as possible, but his feet and his eyes are the things that are going to help him improve the most, right? Feet and eyes. Sometimes when he gets a little wide, right, and starts to up, jittering, up and down, and you kind of look like it's moving way too fast. He has to breathe and slow it all down. And I remember we talked about last week. Remember the play that with the middle open that he didn't recognize, and And I said that he sped up because he didn't take a drop. Well, did a little more research. He didn't take a drop because it was a hitch, right? So the next step for him would be, okay, I know I have a hitch out here and my footwork is catch and throw. However, a hitch seam, right? So you got a hitch outside, seam in the middle, and the seam can bend through the middle versus cover two. But a hitch, what does a hitch do versus press coverage, Sam?
All right, say what now?
A hitch versus press coverage, what does it do?
A hitch versus press coverage.
Yep.
What is your question?
What does a hitch versus press coverage do?
What does a hitch versus press coverage do?
right? Hitch 5-yard route. You can't run a 5-yard route versus press coverage. It converts to a fade, right?
Okay.
So for him, he caught the ball attempting to throw a hitch, right? So
I'm sorry, I was asking people.
Yeah, it's
I
all
was
good.
asking
It's all good. It's all good.
If you got questions for DG, put them in the chat right now. That's what I was doing.
Right. So this is the next step you take. Right. Okay. They line up. It looks like it could be cover 2. Maybe the corner's off. And if we have to know our plan. If he rolls down, then my feet have to change. I can't do catch and throw like I was going to do because it's not a hitch anymore. It converts to a go down the field. Right. So just get into your drop, and then you'll see the tight end going over the middle. But that hasn't happened. That maturation hasn't happened yet, right? Because it's more of what? I know he has a hitch. I know I want to get to that quick throw. I can see the corner's back. And then when the snap comes, post-snap, he rolls down and the coverage changes, right? So that's why I think Washington is kind of the perfect opponent if they continue to do what they've done, because they don't really disguise it a whole bunch, and he's going to get a clear picture of what he wants to see and what his plan can be based off of what the defense is doing. So you have to slow down. That's the main point, right? Get to your second read, and thirdly, protect yourself. He's taking way too many hits, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Everybody who was in the chat was asking. Converts to a go. Converts to a 9. Converts to a go.
Yeah, they smart. Listen, they've been in this thing for a while with us. And Sam was doing his typing thing and whatever. The people know. And so now you can understand, okay, when you get a little older, you recognize right away, as soon as you catch the snap, okay, he rolled down. I need to get into my drop, right? But if you don't know what's going on as much, you kind of set on, I'm gonna throw the hitch, and it kind of messes up the rhythm of the entire play. So the next step is pre-snap and post-snap, understanding what the defense is trying to do, right? And slow down, but continue to make those plays that he's making with his legs, because those are good plays, and he can be able to keep his eyes downfield a little more as well.
All right, folks, we are gonna be getting to questions for DG in the MMQA. Before we go, got to let you all know that the countdown to kickoff will be at Monty's this Saturday. The Michigan Wolverines travel to Washington to take on the Washington Huskies. And the Big 1050 WTKA is taking the countdown to kickoff to Monty's Public House this Saturday from 3:30 to 6:30. So join me, Ira Weintraub, and Aaron Gooseseller, and special guests live for all the food, drinks, and pregame fun. Then stick around at Monty's to watch the game with all your amazing blue friends. Monty's Public House on Packard and Platt in Ann Arbor, brought to you by Sun Cruiser, made with real iced tea and real vodka for an incredibly refreshing, smooth, and easy drinking beverage. Let the good times cruise. That's at Monty's Public House this Saturday from 3:30 to 6:30. Hope to see you there. And by the way, if you're in the market for a new vehicle, get on board with Brighton Ford. Go to BrightonFord.com. Call 1-800-NEW-FORD. Make it out to the lot at 8240 West Grand River Avenue in Brighton, Michigan. John Cuter and his crew, they got you covered with the great deal on the 2024 Ford F-150 XLT, $299 a month, $3,500 down, or $429 a month with $500 down, or the 2024 Ford Edge SE, $153 a month with $5,100 down, or $347 a month with $500 down. Get on board with Brighton Ford. We're going to BrightonFord.com or call 1-800-NEW-FORD. Make it out to the lot at 8240 West Grand River Avenue out in Brighton, Michigan. We got to get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA and online at thebig1050.com.
And we're clear on the radio.
You got to wait till he says we're clear on radio.
My bad. Hey, this is a good one. This is a good question. DJ and Sam, do you see Orji as a sudden athlete? He's a power runner, not quick and sudden. I think that's true. He's not a sudden athlete. And that's I don't know who this is. It's a great observation. He's a powerful, he's got good speed and all those things. But I remember I was kind of outlining that in the beginning of he's not that sudden athlete that. Now, can he become that as he becomes more comfortable? I think he has the tools to be that. But right now, no, he is not the sudden athlete that is quick change direction all the time.
Yes, that is absolutely right. Mm-hmm. That's why when they were making the comparisons, they started to talk about dudes like JT Barrett and Tim Tebow.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously not Denard.
Or Cam Newton or anything like that.
Yeah,
Cam Newton was both. He was powerful and he was quick and
not
sudden.
Denard or even Milroe. Milroe is
nice.
Yeah,
he's taking quick. Even a further. But the thing is, he's comfortable though, so we don't know if Orji can become that. But what we see from Milroe right now, that's not what we saw last year.
Yeah, but
we saw some of it.
But as a runner, he's more quick and shifty.
Yeah, he got juice.
Yeah, he's not.
He's like ODG. Kind of I ain't gonna lie to you. He look a little bit like ODG. You know, you put me in that phone booth, I'm getting loose now.
So we got a lot of questions to start getting to. So as I said, if you have questions for DG, get them in the chat right now. We're about to start mowing them down. And I will start now with the ones that I have highlighted. The first one from We Being Co says, is Alex's issue the footwork, DG?
In some cases, yes. But then in other cases, you see that he has really good footwork, climbing in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. So it's just comfortability of doing it over and over again. And he's got to do a lot of this work too, and it's, you know, could it be unfair? I don't know, but he's got to do a lot of this extra heavy lifting. I don't know how much with his class schedule is and whatnot, but he has to get in there and practice it as much as possible. Now, will it be exactly what it is in the game? Absolutely not. But moving his feet and getting to throws and getting to different reads, I think is very important, because sometimes his footwork does take him away from throws, and then other times his footwork is perfect and he executes.
All right. Next one. Quick question from Munir. Quick question, DG. I may have missed this, but how much did the weather being bad affect Alex Orji seeing wide open guy?
We didn't even highlight that, even though we you know, I guess we should have, but I'm not thinking, like people were saying excuses. That's a reason, right? You're in the rain, right? And the reason I didn't go to the game is because it was raining. So I know it was raining. And a wet ball, being able to make throws and move freely, it's a tough thing to do, but I didn't want to make an excuse for him. I just gave reasons on the other end and critiques. But thanks for saying it. Rain is a real thing. I don't know if people know that or not, but when it's outside and it's raining, you're only in your second start, you're still trying to develop as a passer, kind of a difficult ask. But, you know, I didn't say it. This person said it. Thank you for saying that, Munir.
All right. Next one. For sake, Sam, prayers go out to you and the family. Appreciate that. DG Sam, do you think making the shotgun spread as a base package for the offense will help Orji on offense? Could give Orji more room to run.
They're in shotgun a bunch. I mean, I don't think. They're in shotgun too, but I feel like their base is shotgun. They're under center way less than they are in shotgun. So,
all right, and next one. I think he's trying too hard to prove he can pass when he should tuck and run. Do you get that feeling?
That's goofy, because we just outlined that we expect he has a little bit more time than he does, and tucking and running so quickly is actually because he's done it a bunch. All right, that's a goofy question. He didn't watch the game, I don't think.
All right, Michigan Go Blue 1234. DG, how are you feeling about the Washington game?
I don't know, because the Washington's quarterback is nice. And in this past week, they had a lot of times where him and his wide receivers on the same page. But I honestly wouldn't blame him for a lot of these mistakes. And then they have like a nice change up with a young guy that comes in that can run and throw. And when he comes in, it's not just a run play, right? He can throw the ball too. So they got a nice little 1-2 punch. And as much as you always you don't always love taking your quarterback out and different things like that, they don't miss a beat with the young guy. So he's completing the fourth most. He got the fourth highest completion percentage in the country. Will Rogers does, and whatever Jed Fish has done, and Pete Carroll's son, their offensive coordinator, they've done a masterful job, because this is a dude who turned the ball over a lot, was in the air raid, and in one season he's turned into a pro style drop back, turn your back to the defense passer. And it was really impressive to watch. So our defense is going to have to contend with him. He throws guys open. He has really good accuracy. And then on their defense, like I said, they kind of line up what they're going to be in. If I was them, I would not do that. I would just risk that maybe we'll be out of place a couple times, because it's not something we usually do, and bet on Orji not seeing it. That's what I would do, honestly. So, because it's too difficult. They know that Orji's still developing. They know his first start was against USC. They know that his second start was against Minnesota, and it was raining, so you can't do all the things you want to do. And so you come into your third start. Is it on the road?
Who started?
It's at Washington.
It's at Washington.
And it's at Washington, right? It's on the road. The atmosphere is going to be a lot of distraction. It's going to be a test for Orji to stay focused on the moment and his job in every single, like you talked about, one step in front of the other. But if I'm Washington, I come out super disguisey. I bring zero blitz 2 times in the first drive, right? I do all the things that could distract and confuse the quarterback, even if it risks leaving open guys from time to time, because I would bet that he wouldn't find them.
Okay. So Zeke has a rebuttal for you.
You talking about the one that claimed me chili, brother?
Yeah. All right. So Zeke says, DG, several times Alex is bailing on the pocket and he runs right every time, right where Link is. He has to step up. I believe you call it getting into the fight. That's not happening.
Yeah. But his first point was guys are wide open. But that's not true. So that was debunked, right? Right away. That is not true. 100% guys are not running open in the back end. Guys are actually running with people right next to them fairly often, pretty much all the time. And so getting up in the pocket, which he has done, and then escaping out is perfectly fine in my estimation, especially when you're running to get first downs, you're creating positive plays. So yeah, until first of all, stop putting this stuff up there because he ain't doing nothing for us. Where's Chili? What are we doing? Stop putting it up there. It's just, it doesn't make sense because he went from guys are running open to he's not getting to, he tried to use my wording to try to get me, to jump in. And no. I've watched the film already. I've watched the entire film, not the TV copy, in the back end where it's like, well, dang, it ain't nobody to throw to. Everybody's covered. This is not okay. And I highlighted the few times where he had guys open. And so nope. And not Chili's brother, just stay out of it.
You just called this dude not Chili's
brother.
Not
Chili's brother. You need to change his name. Not Chili's brother.
Man. All right. Next one is from Andres Martinez. DG, what do you think about using some of Alabama's game plan to get Orji some outside runs? Milroe looked unreal at that game. Maybe Orji can get some of those looks.
Milroe is not Orji now. Can Orji become Milroe? I think so, because Milroe wasn't Milroe last year. I'm not talking about the super explosive like in between, but Alex Orji can run outside zone, right? He can run Q outside zone for sure, but we don't capture the edge great enough for him to be able to run freely like we saw Milroe do.
Yeah, so I don't think that he's not the same kind of runner, but you need to run him.
Yeah, they're talking about like outside zone where you go basically quarterback sweep. He can run quarterback sweep.
Listen, man.
The issue is we don't capture if you don't capture the edge, now you get him to having to be that kind of inline, see it type of runner, and that's just not what he is right now.
So I feel like for Alex, look, you got to justify. Boyd just kind of says this a lot, so I hate using some of his phrasing.
I hate when you do it.
I hate it. He said you got to justify his existence, and I actually agree with that. Like Alex Orji is your quarterback, man. You gotta run him on some.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta run him on.
And
some
Bama doesn't shy away from running Milroe.
Yeah, you gotta run him on some +1s, man.
Yeah, like you said. I think 5 to 7 is good. 5 to 7. That's out of a whole. What they had 62 plays. Actually, when you put 5 to 7 of them runs in there, you're gonna have more plays because you're gonna pick up more first downs. You're gonna have more favorable down and distances on third down. They get in far too many second and longs, and if they can remedy that and put themselves in position that maybe 2nd and 7, 2nd and 5, that really would help in the play calling. But I have to tell you, they did a good job in play calling, in my opinion. Like for what they were a week ago to what they were this past week, or 2 weeks ago to this past week. Wow. I think there was great improvement with the play calling as well, and learning to trust Orji and Orji learning to trust himself.
I think for this offense, anytime they're under 200 yards rushing, I think they're falling short. Anytime. And so I think him getting his 5 to 7 quarterback run or +1 runs is part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of when you seeing all the cheating they're doing in the box. I think this is part of balancing that equation too. I think it's part of getting some of the reaction that you want to get from defenses. I think some of the +1 running kind of elicits some of that reaction as well. Man, I think it's a missed opportunity.
Why are you so? It definitely needs to be done.
Yeah, well, because what I sense is what you said earlier is probably the calculus.
Yeah,
like we want to limit the number of hits he takes, but I don't think you can be.
Yeah, that has to be out.
Yeah, I think you got to
7 extra hits, not gonna hurt. And then some of those he's gonna get it, and he's gonna be able to get out of bounds. He'll be able to get down, and that'll be, he has to make his choice.
Yeah,
but you're getting into the meat of the season. There can't be this protection of him in that rate, because the thing is, it's gonna make it easier for him if you do it. Right, so he can continue to take steps in his development if you do add some of those plus runs, because now defenses have to be afraid of it. You know what I mean? So, the protection has to stop. He's strong. That's why you lift all them weights, right? That's why
the other thing is, man, and you mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and I got to give you your credit. I hate doing this stuff too.
Why?
You use the phrase, man, because you can't let it go. Like you can't let it go.
I ain't even gonna do you like that, Sam.
You can't let it go.
It depends on what you say, though. If it's something that I really got on the table about, I gotta.
You really got on the table. You said that. You said offensive weapon. You said you used the phrase offensive weapon. Man, listen. If the sum total of the RB1 discussion was Khalil Mullins getting 24 carries, which he should be RB1. I'm not disputing that. But the sum total was him getting 24 carries and Donovan getting 9, 10 touches. If that was the result, then you solved one problem and created another. Because all you did was you found your RB1, but you reduced you put your biggest home run hitter on the bench too much. You have got to find a way to have your best personnel on the field more often.
Yeah.
And you just said a moment ago that you have guys not open enough. Like
he should be starting that slot.
So you
where
got
he's kind of like an H slot.
The only guy that you got getting open routinely is Colston Loveland. Well, you got another dude who can help with that.
Yeah, it should be 21 a lot. And the thing is, it's technically 21 because he is a running back, but it's really 11 plus, right? It's 11 plus, and the plus is the offensive weapon, and I think that they should use him. And it's not him getting the ball as much. I don't think that's necessary. I don't know. Maybe 10 is a good number, but him being a option on the field is, I think, very important, because like we talk about with Alex Orji, where the linebacker freezes. Well, you go inside zone, and then Orji turns his back with the orbit motion. And remember, I talked about orbit motion, and implemented is really good. It's good for them. And he turns his back, and then without the ball, whatever, it looks like Donovan might get it.
Yeah, he can't be on the bench.
Issue. And then you take Donovan in a jet sweep, whether he gets it or not. That's a problem, right? It sets up winter blocks for whatever you want to do off of it. So I think that he needs to be on the field for sure. I don't know how many touches, but he needs to be on the field.
He got to be on the field, and I think has to get 15 to 20 touches a game. Yeah. 15 to 20 touches a game.
20 is a lot. It's hard to get him 20 when you got Orji, who's going to run some, he's going to pass, and then he's going to get some Q runs, and then you got 24.
That's why it's a range. I mean,
it's based off the game.
It's not going to be 20. That's why it's 15 to 20. Maybe it's going to be 15.
Because you know who got to touch that ball.
Maybe it's going to be 15 most games.
You know who got to touch that ball? Khalil Mullins got to touch that rock. Hey. Where he running. He got to touch that rock.
Hey.
He could have another breakout game this week. He got to touch that rock. He's strong. He's solid.
It might be some games where he's getting it on the jet. He's catching 7 balls.
Yeah, of course.
He's carrying it 10 times. You don't know what 100%.
100%. He needs to be out there and be a viable option. And I think that helps. I think that really helps the offense.
He's the only guy you got that can go 80.
But the one thing that I would say for Donovan is he has to remain engaged, because it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. You were number 2, number 3 running back in the country. Everybody wanted you. You were dominant in the playoff last year. You were dominant against Ohio State. But was it back-to-back years or 2 years ago, whatever? That's tough to say. I'm not even. It's my turn. I'm a senior in my 4th year after I was supposed to leave really last year because he had said he wanted to leave early. But that's tough, right? So he has to stay engaged and know that, hey, this is what it is, and you have to. But the thing is, I think he's setting himself up for think about if he proves the offensive weapon he can be as a runner, as a pass catcher, as a, you got to improve in blocking to be that real third down back at the next level. But what if he shows how much of an offensive weapon he can be? There's a place for him in the NFL. Like, it's not like the old days where positionless players didn't have a place because coaches were too lazy. Right, they resisted coaching. Right, they resisted development. They want guys to be set in stone, developed already, so they could just call plays. Whereas there are places like the Chiefs, there are places like the Steelers who, firstly, love Michigan guys. Right, they love what they bring with them: the pedigree of winning, the pedigree of toughness, the pedigree of discipline, and you have this offensive skill set that maybe everybody just doesn't know how to use, but there are some guys that do. Right, so I think he sets himself up great for being that offensive weapon. And to be completely honest, sometimes I look and say, I think that the NFL game might be more suited for Donovan as a running back. Obviously you can do all the other things, but you don't see as many loaded boxes in the NFL game because the quarterbacks are real threats and they respect them too much. You know what I mean? In college, you can kind of play that loaded box, not a lot of space. And we've seen Donovan Edwards need space. And if he doesn't have space, he's not the 3 yards in a cloud of dust guy that's going to be able to do that all the time. So I think that he has to embrace this new role of, I'm the offensive weapon. I need to be on the field. I'm DeAnthony Thomas at Oregon in was it 2013 or 12 or wherever it was. I need to be able to hit the home run from anywhere on the field, not just as the setback.
Absolutely. My people, what's up, Buffs? What's up? Turnover Buffs in the house.
Still ain't got mine, is all I'm saying.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have a Buffs package. I got to bring it to the show.
Sam been wearing mine on the weekend.
I have not been wearing your Buffs.
You've been wearing my Buff package on the weekend.
I've been wearing your Buffs. I swear to God, I have it. Let's see. Next in the questions, we have, after this one, yes, he got zone reads correct. Yes, he did. We mentioned this earlier. He there was one where they fooled them. He pulled the zone read into a gap. Can you explain that? Maybe they don't know what a gap exchange is.
So gap exchange is, so see if you can get the picture of defensive end linebacker, right? So the run, dang, it's so hard to know. The run is going this way, right? Defensive end crashes and you're replaced by the linebacker, right? So they basically just exchange responsibilities, where the linebacker will be the inside B gap, right? He goes outside, and the defensive end, who would be outside for the quarterback, goes and takes the B gap, which would be trying to tackle the running back. So they exchange responsibilities. It happens quick for the defensive end, but the linebacker is usually delayed because he knows he can respond late, right? And he knows that the quarterback usually doesn't see this coming. And it's not just Orgy. Nobody really sees it coming because it's just not something you do all the time. You sprinkle it in. And so, right, take the running back away, force a give, and then once you force a give, I have a linebacker waiting for you, which is, it's a smart defensive play.
All right. Next one would be from Johnny Olden. It says, DG, what do you think about the 60% starter reps for Orgy? I don't.
What do you think about the 60% starter reps for? What is that? What do you mean? In practice? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was curious if you.
I hope he ain't getting 60% of the reps in practice.
I didn't know if this was something y'all talked about last week or
60% of starter reps for Orgy is.
I didn't know if that was something that y'all. I don't know if that was something you guys talked about last week.
I don't know what he means. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
He played the whole game. Yeah, he played the whole game. He played every snap.
Okay.
So I don't know if maybe it's some reports of him getting 60% of the starter reps in practice. I don't know if that's a mistake. He needs every rep he can get. He needs to be getting 100, 95. To back up. Davis get 2 reps or something like that, but he needs to be getting all the reps, right? And then you have to have those special periods for those Q run packages and different things like that. So, and I think there needs to be a period, offensive weapon period. There needs to be a period in practice called Donovan Edwards. Hey, it's Donovan Edwards period. Every play, and remember I talked about the deuce package that me and Denard had. It needs to be very prevalent. This is Donovan Edwards series. 1, that'll help with him knowing that he's a part of this and he's a big reason why they're going to be successful. 2, you get to practice all the things that you're going to do with Donovan Edwards. I'm just telling you, it gives you a little bit of pride when you got a whole period named after you. All right, that was me. I thought, even though I wasn't playing, I felt good. You know, they kept me engaged, and I don't know if that was Borges's because he knew I was a good player. I don't know if he could see that I was feeling, you know, like, man, I'm not a part of this and I'm capable. I don't know if that's what it was. Like, hey, let's keep him engaged. Whatever it was, you got a whole period dedicated to ODG. I'm good to go. Honestly, I don't even care if we use it. All I know is we got a whole period, so we got to use it a little bit.
I'm kind of not surprised by that.
Hold on now, Sam.
Not that shocking.
Sam, if you was on a football team, hold on. Sam, you on a football team. You a top recruit. You that guy. And hold on, let me finish. And you not playing at all. I'm talking about they're running out. You're having games, and you are watching the whole time. And I would imagine from Flint, you're not gonna feel too great about that, right? You're gonna I know we're winning, but I'm not helping. Okay? It's difficult. This is devastating. I was competing to play. How am I not playing?
I hear you.
And then they come out and say, "Hey, we got a new package, and we're gonna dedicate full periods, sometimes multiple periods, to basically Devin Gardner's package." You wouldn't feel good about that? You wouldn't feel good about that?
First of all, we need to call this something different. Second of all,
it was Deuce package, and the only difference in the offense was Devin Gardner was in the game. I'm just telling you, Chief. And this was what, you know, Denard stay on the field. It was Devin Gardner package. And obviously, you can't, Borges was smart. You can't go that far as to call it Devin Gardner package. Now you're going to have other issues with me. I'm just telling you. So you got to call it Deuce. What does Deuce even mean? He wore 16. Like, I don't, what does it do? So he was smart in that, right? The naming was smart. But I think Donovan Edwards can handle it being called Donovan Edwards package. Me? You better call that thing Deuce. You can't call that Devin Gardner. You want to lose me? I'm going to lose it. But, you know, Deuce package was a great name. Good job. Shout out Borges. But it needs to be Donovan Edwards package, and it needs to be a period dedicated just to that.
I hear you. I wasn't criticizing.
No,
I was just saying.
I hate the smile on your face, the evil smile.
It wasn't evil.
In the poise that you said it with. I hate it.
I was
frankly,
just making an observation that's not that surprising.
You said, frankly, that's not surprising. I don't like your poise. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like how you just kind of. It was too calculated. I don't like it.
All right, let's go to this one. This is a good question.
Not that it wasn't true.
Tom Maldonado says, DG, how many games do you think it will take Orgy to settle in?
Well, I'm just judge from what I've seen of improvement from his first start to his second start. I think. Well, let me look at the schedule real quick. I think he's going to take another leap this week. Another leap this week. Washington, tough road environment. Right, the weather's probably going to be raining. You know, Washington's always raining. Illinois is going to be a tough one because when I tell you what they do in the back end, Illinois is tough. I haven't seen Michigan State yet, but the schedule is not conducive to his improvement right now, right? Like I said, Washington, there couldn't be two more polar opposite game defensive styles than Washington and Illinois, right? Washington line up in it, and like I said, I would disguise, but they usually line up in it and do what they're going to do. Illinois is the most complicated defense on the planet. It's so ridiculous. Like everything you learn of chasing in motion is wrong because the guy that just chased him across the field in motion is about to go play the half. And now you got issues, right? Because you thought you were about to throw man. You wasted time. So the Illinois game is terrifying to me. I'm going to be honest. And it's not just because of Alex Orji. I said that about Nebraska when Nebraska played Illinois. It's terrifying for a young quarterback who hasn't seen enough to deal with the way that they play defense. Yeah. And then and their young coordinator, man, Aaron Henry, first of all, he's going to be head coach very soon. Secondly, in his second year, they're even better than they were a year ago. Last year, he had young guys in there, a guy that their main safety, which is a guy that's very important in the defense, he was a wide receiver the year before. So, right, he was still figuring out how to play safety. He wanted to big hit everything, whatever. They insert Corey Parker, and their back end is playing amazing. That's not good. That's not good for us. We don't want a back end that's playing amazing while our quarterback is trying to develop, right? So, Illinois terrifies me. I haven't watched Michigan State enough to know what they are, but they're Michigan State, so I think we'll be fine. But Illinois really scares me, and I hope he gains a ton of confidence here against Washington. So by the time he gets to Illinois, and it's at Illinois, right?
Yeah,
that's tough.
They confused the heck out of JJ.
Of course they did.
They confused the heck out of a lot of people.
No, everybody. Yeah. Like and it's hard. It's like you never really truly figure it out. Like the cool thing, how they beat Nebraska is they did all that the whole game, and they won some, they lost some, right? Because with all the movement and different things, you do leave open guys sometimes, and there'll be completions. But when the game was on the line, they hadn't all game. They hadn't run a twist. They hadn't run a game. They ran a game and pushed them way out of field goal range and out of position to get a first down. And it was a genius call saving it to that time. And their defensive line is strong. Their ends are really strong. So Illinois is kind of you saw they only gave up really 7, honestly. I mean, against Penn State. And Penn State
defense is gonna have to ball out.
That's what our defense, the Michigan defense got to be.
Penn State's defense balled out.
You have to. And the thing is, their offense is really good, but defense, Penn State got a beat on them. It's at Penn State, a little tougher. You remember, playing at home, playing on the road is a little different. A little different. So Illinois scares me. I can't lie.
Yeah,
Illinois scares me.
I gotta give them more respect. And maybe it's Aaron Henry, because I just don't believe in Brett Bielema.
Oh, it's Aaron Henry. It's Corey Parker in that back end. Man, them DBs are playing amazing. And then Lunny, the offensive coordinator, really So last year the quarterback was new, and so when you're new, you're never gonna say something you're not comfortable with. Like Orji right now is going through that. He's probably seen things that comes into plan, and he's not comfortable, but he's not gonna say it. Why? Because barely just got this job, right? And for the quarterback, Altmaier last year, I just got here. I can't tell him I can't do stuff because I don't want them wanting to use somebody else. He said this year, he's totally different. Hey, man, I don't like that. You know what I mean? And it's not like I can't do it. It's just I'm not comfortable with that, right? And you move on. And so they have a much better relationship. So that is not good for us, for Michigan. I think he's a big part of why they're able to be successful as well. So Illinois scares me. I don't like it.
Oh, so we got another message from Turner of Buffs.
Oh, okay.
So the Buffs says, agree, Orji needs some one-on-one after practice with some wide receivers and a certain DB too to get more comfortable. What do you think about that?
What you talking like? Is it one-on-ones? Like,
well, I was more interested in a certain DB getting some time at wide receiver.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about doing one-on-one. He should definitely test that offensive side. He got too many pick sixes to not. The most in Michigan history. And there have been other guys where that, but the one thing that's tough about that, and I think it's a good idea, it's hard to do that when you haven't gotten into a groove on offense. You can't add new, you know what I mean? Adding new stuff. Now, the question is, do you make that number 2 on defense the deuce package, or is it Donovan? So now you at a crossroads.
It's interesting
because it's hard to do 2 periods. It's hard to do 2 periods of one with whatever.
They need to help. They need to help.
But it's based off what you think. What do you like? But the one
because that's part of what prompted the old number 2 getting some reps on offense. They needed to help.
But the thing for Will, he's dealt with some injury stuff. Actually, no more. We can't give him no more. Especially since we need him to play well every time. We need him to play his best. We need him to shut down the side of the field, which he's capable of doing. But if you add that offensive piece, it's just a more risk, more plays, more like the kid in Colorado. He is a creative player. He is not human. I don't know how he's doing it. And then he did it in the heat. So now there's nothing he can't do. After doing it in the heat like how he did, where every single person on every talk show is sweating profusely in Florida, unbelievable what he was able to do. So, nope, can't do it. Can't risk him. We'll be good. We'll be nice.
Definitely.
But can't risk him.
Definitely Donovan, though.
Donovan for sure, yeah. 100%.
David Mendenhall, should we see more formations, both running backs? Yes.
Yeah, that's what 21 personnel, 2 backs, 1 tight end.
Yes, you've got to see your best offensive players on the field together more. I mean, they just personnel wise,
Donovan Edwards, period.
They can't afford
Donovan Edwards, period. They can't afford to not have Donovan Edwards, period, at practice. 5 minutes. Donovan Edwards, period. Just run all the Donovan Edwards plays. And the cool thing is Campbell will be able to get really creative, right? You can get really creative and still run basic plays. Creative with his movement and different things like that. But to you guys, it's basic. But to the defense, it's confusing. Like, what is he doing? Which way is he going? Is he going that way? Is that what is he doing? It's just a regular inside zone. Don't look like to them. I told you have to start with the premise. Defensive players are inherently not very smart. What? It's true. If I'm a person that the natural instinct of a person is to run away from danger.
You just stereotyped all your old teammates.
They know. They know. Look,
is Brandon Hawthorne listening to this right now?
Don't tell Hawthorne. He a cop too. He got a legal license to beat me up. You know what I mean? But seriously, if you're a human, your natural instinct when somebody's coming at you is to run away.
Terry Richardson, your spotter, ain't he?
He know he's stupid. Terry Richardson has the worst handwriting in all of America. That I just have to say that on air because I know some of his employees, like not his employees, but his coworkers listen to the show. You need to get him on handwriting. He's terrible. I'll be like this. Huh? What are you trying to write? One time I grabbed the board and just threw it. Get out. You're not helping me. What are you doing? So we got to get his handwriting right. He do have some good ideas, but his handwriting is garbage. But yeah, they're just inherently not very smart. They chose to chase. They chose to play defense. Now, there are some defensive players that just weren't good enough on offense, and they really didn't choose defense. But some people came out like, I'm going to be a defensive player. Goofy. You're not very smart, so we have to start with that premise. And when you give all that misdirection, different things like that, you have success.
All right.
Remember that. Defensive players are inherently not very smart. They're not. They're crazy. They run into stuff for a living. It's crazy.
We have gone over time. We only have time for maybe a couple of more. In here. We've already gone over wide receivers a lot. This one is observation. We can formation guys wide open. Why don't we run bunch scat concept, motion choice, HBO? What?
It's so funny. He's saying scat concept. He don't know what he's saying. He's just saying stuff that he's heard. Bunch scat concept. So scat is a protection. It's not a concept.
So, but what do you think about the idea of formationing?
That's what we're talking about. Defensive players are inherently not very smart. Formation them, and then you run the same plays. What do you think the Chiefs do? What do you think the Rams do? Mm-hmm. What do you think Washington is doing right now? They're not doing anything spectacular. They're using the weapons they have, formationing differently, and running the same things they want to run. I'm telling you, that's what football is. That's at least what good football is. You don't need to outsmart them so much. Have them outsmart themselves, right? Have them see ghosts. Have them see things and then run the things you're used to running.
Yeah, this is something that Donovan can help. We've been saying that.
Well, I said a 5-minute period, and sometimes you can get 2 periods in there. In my opinion.
Darren Groner says, "Why does this team not have a screenplay for like Donovan Edwards? Only team in NCAA does not run a screenplay. They are not a heavy screen team.
So, and Borges can talk to you and kind of running screens is an art, and good screen teams, they have, like we talked about, full periods, screen period, right? And it's hard to become a great screen team when you're not truly a drop back pass team, right? Mm-hmm. It's difficult just because you don't get the rush that you want. And so now you're throwing a screen, but the defensive lineman never went to the quarterback. You know what I mean? Now, is there opportunities to have timely called screens that are going to work? Absolutely. But if you're looking for them to be a heavy screen team where they're throwing screens all the time, that's tough. That's a tough ask because there's just not enough practice time. Remember, this is a team that started with the premise that they're going to have a drop back passer, right? So think about all fall camp, all up until USC, everything was geared towards the drop back passer, right? Now you have to shift the offense and we have to just watch it continue to build week by week. And you can't really lead with screen when you don't drop back pass nearly enough.
Yeah. All right, DG, let's go ahead and call it a day, man. That's 36 minutes of overtime. I think that's a good extra session
Not bad.
in the books for Mr. Weintraub to go overtime with the people on the show. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this overtime session. I hope I didn't skip too many. People want to know, where are you at this week, DG?
Where am I at this week? Iowa State, Baylor.
Iowa State, Baylor.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Saturday?
Do you have a prediction for this Michigan-Washington game?
Michigan-Washington prediction. I think it's a 27-17 game. Michigan. 27-17.
By the way, people say Vance gonna be coming after you for saying all defensive players are dumb.
Okay.
Because he feels that way. He said all offensive players think they're too smart.
Well, I didn't say offensive players. There are some. Listen to the words I use. There are some offensive players that are not very smart, but defensive players are inherently, like, they don't even have a choice because they chose to play defense. That's crazy. Offensive players, you choose to play offense. That's a smart decision to start. Defensive player, you choose to play defense. At the onset, you're not very smart. You have to build your way to having a brain because you chose to play defense. That's what I'm saying. Vance can do what he want to do.
Hey, Turnover Bus wanted to know what's up with that MSU color suit, by the way, a couple weeks ago.
Was it fly? Because I'm all about flyness. I don't care about the color. This ain't Brady hoax. Don't wear green in the building. Goofy rules. No, I wear what I want.
Man, why are you taking shots at Brady? Brady.
Because the rule was garbage, and you worried about other things except winning. And Harbaugh came in and said, "Wait, what? You can't wear green. You can wear whatever color you want. Come to work and do your job. Period." Yeah, it's goofy. I don't live by that. You know, if it's fly, we get into it. I wore green back-to-back weeks.
You sure did.
Well, not back-to-back weeks. It was 1 week I wore all green, and then I wore gray, and then I went green and black.
You know, you help Brando out with his attire. You gonna take him somewhere?
Man, he old school. He got all these suits from a long time. You know, he don't really tailor them too much because he like to just keep his on all day. And it's hard to wear that tailored suit all day. That doesn't have your back hurting. You know, it's real tailored to fit. You know, you eat a Twinkie or a hot dog or something, and you can't fit it no more. You know what I mean? So he ain't really into all that. But me and Brando, we doing all right, man.
It was fly to Deion Sanders primetime since a fly.
It seemed like his name is primetime. It was pretty fly. I got rave reviews.
Right.
Got rave reviews.
All right. Folks, we'll see you next time. By the way, Drop of Dimes coming up on Wednesday. We're going to record it, but we're still going to play it at 2. Got to record it because I got to go in for a little procedure. So we're going to record it and play it at 2.
You got to get your shoulder redone because of your straps?
No.
Oh. Your low back off because
you cuss in front of these people.
Is your low back a little out of line because you've been wearing 2 straps instead of 1? You've been wearing 1 for all those years. And I'm just trying to figure out. I'm worried about you.
Sam, we're not on the radio. You can cuss this one time.
I'm not trying to cuss in front of these people.
Sam, everybody know you from Flint. Everybody know you from Flint. Now they might get a little confused because you got people carrying your bags. You getting not Uber. You're getting car service to the grocery store. It might be they might be confused, but they know you from Flint. I think, right? Y'all know you from Flint, don't you?
I appreciate you, man, because I needed to laugh. So thanks a lot to the people. We'll see you coming up on. We're coming back with the football breakdown on the offense with Al Borges tomorrow, and football breakdown with the defense with Vance Bedford tomorrow as well. Dropping Dimes Wednesday with DG and Daniel. So the whole routine is getting back on track this week. Thanks a lot for rolling with me. We'll see you next time.